So, I keep hearing a lot of good things about this trap trick structure deck. Oh, it's the best structure deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's amazing. Nothing's better. Man, yo, lolly loving, childlike weirdo deck. Now this bad puppy. Welcome to the Darkworld. What's going on with ya, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day, phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. So in today's video, not only will I be giving you a breakdown of the Darkworld deck as well as the deck profile, I'll even be giving you budget options for budget players just in case you wanted to play the spice and compete with some other amazing budget decks. Without further ado, let's jump on in. So what makes Darkworld so powerful right now is that it makes a lot of the cards commonly being played look ridiculously silly. There's not really a lot of great spots to use hand traps on, and since a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh strategies don't put up negates to stop you before you get rolling, once you get rolling, it is almost impossible to stop this deck. Not only has Darkworld been doing really well over the course of the regional season, it's been topping more and more now. I actually went undefeated with Darkworlds, and this is my take on the deck and the reason why I play these cards. Of course, the deck is built around Grapha Dragon Darklord and Rainbow the Overking. These two monsters are actually incredible, and it's not just their search and destruction effects, it's the fact that you can keep on summoning these cards over and over again, giving you infinite resources to be able to activate your Darkworld monsters. Now, this is a Silva hand loop, and essentially what you do with the Silva hand loop is that you use a Darkworld monster in Cerilli to be able to discard the Silva, which will trigger its secondary ability. Not only will you summon it to the side of the field, you can rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, and the best thing about it, this card is not once per turn. So you can rip up to 4 cards out of your opponent's hand with Silva, and this deck specializes on actually being able to rip all 5 cards out of your opponent's hand, leaving them with 1 card left and a board that normally can't be broken with just 1 card. In order to be able to search any Darkworld card that you need, there is of course 3 copies of Snow, and then to be able to get into your discard and draw power, there's 3 copies of Jinta. Now, this is pretty much the standard base for every Darkworld deck in the game right now. One could argue that a lot of players would play 1 copy of Cerilli, and I think that that's actually incorrect, because Cerilli plus Rainbow still does get you in the combo. If you can summon Cerilli to your opponent's side of the field discarding Rainbow, you'll be able to get both of its effects, allowing you to search Silva and summon another Cerilli to your opponent's side of the field, which will trigger its effect to discard the second Silva. Sometimes that's all you need to get your combo started, and you do need to play a second Cerilli in order to facilitate that. But other than that, a lot of successful builds have been playing 1, some have been playing 2. It's really up to your choice. All of these other Darkworld monsters, it's pretty standard to play these at the lowest number that you see available, and you could max them out if you wanted. Now, some spicy Darkworld cards that I play, I actually play 1 copy of Beige. I've noticed that there is quite a few times where I would need to summon a Darkworld monster to my side of the field, and Beige being a level 4 summonable Darkworld monster that can be summoned off of his discard or normal summon comes up a lot. And then I played 1 copy of Gold, because obviously if my opponent went first, the Silva loop is not good. It's not going to happen. But Rainbow into a Gold and then using Cerilli to discard Gold allows me to destroy up to 2 cards on my opponent's side of the field. This can be really good for clearing my opponent's trap cards like a Labyrinth deck, or at the very worst, forcing my opponent to stop Gold, which then allows me to pop off with my other cards. Now, the Darkworld spell cards are fairly simple. There's 3 copies of Gates. This card is actually sometimes a brick in the deck. What you really want to do is get Jinta into your Gates, but there are times where you just open Gates and you can't really play less than 3 Gates because the card is so powerful. You'll resolve 3 Gates almost every single game. At least 1 copy of Darkworld Accession. This deck isn't necessarily focused on fusion summoning, but it can fusion summon easily. There's also 1 copy of Darkworld Archives. I think that this is also very standard for Darkworld decks. This card is insane for just being able to discard a Darkworld monster, but also getting you deeper into your deck by drawing cards. And lastly, a card that's not necessarily mandatory, though it probably should be, is Charge into the Darkworld. This card is nutty. It allows you to be able to special summon your Snow or your Beige or even your Cerilli to your side of the field, This can trigger the effect of Cerulean to discard a card from your opponent's hand, and also can special summon a Snow to your side of the field, which can be bounced with these guys and then allow you to pop off with your plays. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Darkworld spell cards and the Darkworld cards inside of the deck. The rest is going to be support cards, though I would say Blackwing Zephyros is easily an honorary Darkworld monster because it can bounce any of your Darkworld cards or even your Gates of the Darkworld back into your hand to help you facilitate plays. There will be games where you'll use Gates of the Darkworld 4 times. Now, one thing that you've noticed about the Darkworld deck is that it doesn't have a great way to facilitate discards. Some players have been using Darkworld Dealings inside of their board or their deck. Some players have been using Into the Void and waiting into the end phase. I don't use any of those cards because I think there's actually a better alternative. The danger monsters can be really, really good inside of Darkworlds, but also could be bad if you don't construct the deck correctly. The reason why I say this is because danger monsters can really shine when you're hitting other Darkworld cards, but if you're hitting the danger monsters themselves and not getting their full effects, then you're losing. With that being said, there has to be a balance between the two. You don't want to open a ton of dangers, but you also want to have access to discarding cards. This ratio has been perfect. So far, I've been playing 2 copies of Danger Bigfoot. This is actually my worst danger monster, but it's so good. It has synergy with the deck by being a level 8 monster, allowing you to make rank 8 plays. And since Kashtira is this deck's biggest weakness, being able to trigger Danger Bigfoot to destroy Kashtira Riseheart is huge. I also play 2 copies of Danger Nessie. I think that 3 copies is a little much. Of course, you want to see Nessie, but after you resolve the effect to discard in search, then you're playing that danger game and things get a little bit wonky if you hit it again. Next is 2 copies of Danger Mothman. This is almost guaranteed to pop off just like Nessie. If either Nessie or Mothman get hit once, then it doesn't matter. You'll be able to get a Darkworld Dealings at worst with Danger Mothman, and Nessie will get you into a danger monster like Chupacabra, which will force your opponent to either give you a free Nessie or summon Chupacabra and draw a card. And then lastly is Danger Jackalope. Danger Jackalope is a special summon to Danger Bigfoot to the side of the field. So this card is really, really good, but also can be a summon and draw. And what you have probably noticed by now is that there's no Danger Susanoko. You could play Susanoko in your deck, but unfortunately Susanoko doesn't do anything because it is a level 3 monster. In this particular deck, you want to summon level 4s and level 8s as many times as possible. That gets you into your rank plays if all else fails. Granted, Susanoko can be another link material, but that's all it's pretty much useful for. And plus, I already have my lineup of 8 dangers. So that's it for the danger cards. Now, some really good counter cards. Like I said, there are some cards that could be problematic for this deck. Traptrix Sarah is a card that comes to mind. Kashtira Riseheart. Sometimes your opponent can summon a Mirror Jade, which could be problematic. We have the monster to solve it. Radiant, I think, is better than the Lava Golem play. There was actually a survey that one of my content creator colleagues in Eva made, and 70% of Kashtira players will make Kashtira Riseheart pass. My guy, you can't a Lava Golem them with 1 monster on the field. I played it safe and went for the Kaiju. There's also a Dark Fiend monster, so it is an Allure of Darkness target and is a Gates target. I like Allure of Darkness at 2 in here, and it's mainly because if you're activating multiple copies of Allure of Darkness, your hand is either really, really bad or you're really, really desperate. But now we've wrapped it up with 1 copy of Card Destruction. If you resolve this card, you pretty much win. It just puts you so far ahead in advantage. It's just crazy. You're probably going to win if you resolve this card. You probably should get banned again. Foolish Burial to be able to send cards like Blackwing Zephyros to the graveyard, but also giving me options to send Grapha and my Rainbow to get my combo started. And then the Super Secret Spice, I think something that all Darkworld players need to mandatorily play if you can afford it, is 1 copy of Triple Tactics Talent and 1 copy of Triple Tactics Thrust. So the reason why both Triple Tactics Talent and Triple Tactics Thrust is so good in here is because you can almost guarantee that your opponent will activate a monster effect on your main phase in Cerulean. My brother in Christ, you just activated a monster effect when I give you the Cerulean. I can use Triple Tactics Thrust to get a Foolish Burial, Card Destruction, Allure of Darkness, or even my charge into the Darkworld. And I can also use it to get Triple Tactics Talent, which can take the Cerulean back, which comes up for link plays, draw 2 cards, or snipe that 5th card out of your hand. My brother in Christ, this duo is amazing in the deck. And since the deck does draw so much, the odds of you seeing these cards are greatly increased. But of course, understandable if you can't afford Triple Tactics Talent or Triple Tactics Thrust, you can actually drop both of these cards, and what I would do is probably play another copy of Allure and another copy of Radiant. Radiant gives you another target for Allure, and Radiant also isn't out to a lot of your opponent's boards when going second. But that is it for the main board at a solid 40 cards. I'm telling you, this Darkworld deck has been nothing less than amazing to me. Moving on to the extra deck, it's actually going to be fairly simple. There's 2 copies of Grapha Dragonlord. Then for the Xyz, there's 1 Daggerus, 1 Baguska, 1 Hope Harbinger, and this card is a God card. My guys, it literally says draw 3 cards in its card text. Also, if your opponent is goofy enough to sit through your Darkworld combos for both Game 1 and Game 2, a lot of times you're going to go into time, you just summon this card, draw 3 cards, inflict 2400 damage, and you win the game. From here, for the Link monsters, there's 1 Appaloosa, 1 Nightmare Griffin, 1 Saryuja. The Griffin is insane, the Saryuja is mandatory. So Griffin is actually the backup combo when you make McCraker. I immediately channel into going into Griffin and then linking it with a Nightmare Cerberus and Nightmare Phoenix. I actually did this on test hands on stream, and I'll include that in my Patreon for everybody to see. So of course from here, there's 1 copy of Akashic, 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, and 1 Security Dragon. Akashic and Security Dragon are literally some of the best cards in the deck, as not only do they out your opponent's monsters, they allow you to bounce Cerilli. But that's it for the main board. In the extra deck, guys, I'm going to go ahead and show you this test hand. All right, guys, so here we are into our test hands. Really excited to show you one test hand because these can actually go a fairly long time with this particular deck, guys. Of course, I'm going to put some more test hands just to show you that this deck can be fairly consistent on my Patreon. The Twitch test hands will be for public, for everyone to see. Then I'll have some as a special thanks for helping me pay my editors. Also, guys, if you're loving the mat, you guys should already know where to go. TheCaliEffect.com, guys, to go ahead and pick up your Battle of Twilight mat and other amazing mats as well. But also, be sure to check out the Raven Wing sleeve. So let's go ahead and draw our first test hand. What we're going to need here in these particular test hands to be able to pop off is ways to access our level 8 Darkworld, but also it would be really extremely nice to get into a Jinta. Bigfoot, Gates, Foolish Burial, Danger Jackalope, Radiant. This is not an amazing hand. I'm actually going to go ahead and start off by activating the effect of Bigfoot. I think the best number would be 1 or 2. Let's go ahead. Holy, yo, okay. We'll discard the Jackalope to summon the Danger Bigfoot and then draw a Jinta, okay. And then trigger the effect of Danger Bigfoot. We will, or Danger Jackalope, we will special summon another Danger Bigfoot to our side of the field. This is full combo, guys. I know this hand is not looking good. It's actually looking down bad, but I'm telling you right now, this hand is going to be phenomenal. I'm gonna go ahead and activate that Jinta right here. We'll use that effect to be able to get the Gates of the Darkworld. And then Gates of the Darkworld will activate here. We'll use Gates to be able to banish the Jinta, discard the Radiant. I really wanted to discard a Darkworld monster. We'll draw an Allure of Darkness and trigger the effect of our Jinta. Jinta will special summon itself to the side of the field. And then we'll follow up by activating Foolish Burial here. Now with Foolish Burial, we normally will send the... A lot of times, it really depends. You want to send the Rainbow, but I'm going to send the Grapha here because if I do draw a session, I could use its effect in hand here. But here's where the big kahuna, big bell part is going to come through. I'm going to go ahead and bounce the Jinta to be able to special summon my Grapha. And here's where we get to go into our Big Daddy combo. Because I have 3 level 8 monsters on my field, I can use all 3 for an Xyz summon into Coach King Game Trainer. Now, as you guys remember, we started off with a really bad hand. Now we're pretty much going to gamba our way into a great hand. Let's go ahead and detach with Grapha, burn our opponent for 800. Then we'll detach the Danger Bigfoot. We'll burn our opponent for another 800. Then we will detach with Coach King Gains Trainer. We will burn our opponent for 800. Oh my God, guys. And now we have new life in our hand. We have completely remolded us. Let's get back into the game. I'll activate Allure of Darkness to draw 2 more cards and then banish the Jinta. And we are fairly close to hand looping our opponent. Seriously, guys, we went from down bad to up good. And I gotta say, we're in a really good spot. I'm then gonna activate my Jinta in hand. We'll put this banished right here. We're gonna use that Jinta to be able to get into another Gates of the Darkworld here. Really important that we go through our gates. And like I said, We're going to go through gates quite the bit of times, guys. You can go through all 3 in a particular game. We'll remove our gates to be able to activate our gates. Using gates effect, we will banish oh no, we can banish in Radiant in Graveyard. Dope. Then discard the Snow. We'll draw the Gold. Not necessarily a bad card. Activating Snow's effect, we're allowed to search 1 Darkworld card from our decks to our hand. We can start hand looping with the ability of our Silva here, but is that the correct option? I think it is. We're going to go ahead and add Silva from the deck to the hand, and now we have combo. I'm then going to go ahead and activate gates over gates just to make sure that Danger Mothman is not going to hit anything. And now activate Danger Mothman here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it hits 4 or 5, we are so far into the game. We're going to go ahead and roll. It hits 3, so it hits the Danger Nessie. We'll summon the Mothman, draw another Silva, trigger the effect of Nessie to be able to add another Danger monster from our decks to our hand. We'll add the Danger Chupacabra here. Now, I was feeling really cool, but I'm not going to take that chance yet again. I'm going to activate Gates of the Darkworld. We are going to discard our Cerilli, and then we are going to banish our Genta, and then we are going to draw a card, triggering the... Oh my god, we just won! We just won! We just won! I told you, anytime you draw this card, you literally win, guys. And as you can see, we did a lot of drawing to get into it, but it does not matter. That's exactly what you get sometimes. Cerilli will special summon itself to our opponent's side of the field. Using its effect, we'll discard Silva, which will trigger the effect of Silva to special summon itself to our side of the field. And now our opponent has to rip 2 cards. One thing I want to talk about is that you want to put these 2 monsters in the same place. So this monster goes into the opposite side of the extra monster zone, and this monster comes to this side. And normally it's really important. So from here, we're going to need... Oh my god. We'll activate the effect of... I'll set a card face down and then activate the effect of Chupacabra here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to hit 3, 4. Not necessarily the most or the card that I really want to hit, but still not a bad. We'll discard Silva. I'll summon the Chup. We'll draw a card. Then Silva's effect will trigger. We'll summon Silva right here. And oh, look, we got 2 monsters with the same levels. Or the... Holy, we can go deeper. Oh my god. I can go deeper, guys. Holy, I'm literally... Should I just make a Akashic Magician? But I have the card destruction. Okay, forget it. We'll go balls in, guys. We're going to make the number 60 Daggerous the Timeless. I'm going to go ahead and detach 2 materials to be able to draw 2 cards and then discard 1. I'll draw the Grapha. I'll draw Charge into the Darkworld. Things are looking really good. I'll discard the Gold, which will summon itself to the side of the field. And then I will bounce the... Oh, was that a good idea? Yeah, I'll bounce the Silva for a Grapha here. And now we're going to use both the Grapha and the Daggerous for a Link Summon. And you guys are going to see why we did that monster, or why we did it that way. Akashic Magician can be Link Summoned by using 2 monsters with the same type except tokens. We use 2 Fiend monsters, meaning that we'll be able to return our Silva and Cerulean back into our hand. Whoa, we're not even done. I'm going to go ahead and set the charge into the Darkworld and then return the Gold into my hand to be able to... Wait, is that even worth it? Because we're going to be able to summon 1, 2... We can summon 3 times, yeah. We'll return the Gold into our hand to be able to summon Grapha. And look at this, guys. We're going to need to be able to set up that lock before we use card destruction. No, I actually have a card. We're going to go ahead and not activate card destruction. We're going to activate Charge into the Darkworld. What Charge into the Darkworld, we'll be able to take 1 level 4 Fiend monster in our graveyard and special summon it. That's easy. We'll summon Snow, then discard 1 card from our hand. That's the Cerilli. Cerilli will then activate to be able to special summon to my opponent's side of the field, which will then trigger to be able to special summon the Silva to my side of the field, which will then trigger to be able to discard or get rid of 2 cards in my opponent's hand yet again. So my opponent has 1 card left in hand, and I have a card destruction in hand, guys. Keep in mind, I have a card destruction in hand. We're still not done here. I'm going to go ahead and link off my Silva, my Akashic Magician, my Grapha, and my Coach King Game Trainer. We're going to make Saryuja Skull Dread, and since we use 4 cards, we'll be able to draw 4 cards and put back 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to be able to put back 3. I'm going to put back the Silva, the Genta, and the Nessie because we really don't need any of those. And we're still balling, guys. We are still balling. I'll then return the Snow to be able to special summon Grapha to my side of the field, which Yugioh would give it more attack. And then my opponent's going to be able to draw 1 card when I activate card destruction. And oh my god, I'm going to discard 6. You guys seen how that hand became this hand, and this is pretty much game. I'm going to send 2 Snows, the Beige, the Rainbow, the Grapha, and the Gold into our graveyard. We'll be able to draw 6 cards from our decks to our hand. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wait, that was already 6. My apologies. We're going to be able to draw 6 cards from our decks to our hands, and then we'll trigger a few effects. We'll trigger Grapha as Chain Link 1, Snow, Beige, Grapha, Gold, whatever. So we're going to get this to our hand. We're going to get Darkworld Accession to our hand. We are going to get a Rainbow into our hand. We are going to special summon, and then destroy the Cerilli. So they're not even going to have that left. And let me fix my field so it's actually looking real crispy. Now from here, as you guys can see, I can do whatever I want, guys. Here it is. I'm going to go ahead and triple Tactics Talent, rip that last card out of my opponent's hand so they have 0 cards in hand yet. We just completed the full, that is right, the full whole thing. I don't think I have any other normal spells I can even search with Triple Tactics Thrust, which is crazy. We pretty much drew them all out. So that's actually okay. We actually can't even deck out because we can't draw the next turn because of our Daggerist. So that's still okay. We'll return these 2 cards back into our hand. We'll summon Grapha and Rainbow here. Next, we can just go Link God if we want to, which is crazy. But ultimately, as you guys can see, we haven't invested our normal summon, I don't think, which is even more ridiculous. And we're still not done comboing. So, holy guys, somebody help me here. I will go ahead and normal summon Zephyros because that's what we do in here. We can use all 4 of these monsters into a 4 negation Appaloosa, just showing you how ridiculous this deck can be. We'll then return the gates to be able to special summon the Blackwing Zephyros, the Elite. We will then activate Darkworld Accession. I will discard Silva and banish a Grapha. Where is the Grapha? I will discard Silva, banish 1 Grapha, and then we'll summon our Grapha Dragon Lord right here, right? And then we're still not done. Come on, guys. This is dumb. I will normal summon, bounce. Oh, I'm sorry. This got special summon too. Normal summon, bounced, summon the Grapha, and now we can link into another monster of our choice. 1, 2, 3. I mean, you guys, literally, you guys are seeing what's going on. It's utter destruction. Whatever I can make. Let's just go ahead and finish our opponent off. Let's let them know that this was game no matter what. We'll use these 2 monsters for an Exceed summon into our Hope Harbinger. And this is pretty much going to be our inboard. Again, we can still go further, which I find is ridiculous, like linking these 2 off into a McCraker here and then using McCraker to be able to summon 2 monsters. And that's pretty much it. Our opponent lost their entire hand. We have a Grapha on the field that can turn it into destroy 2 cards on our opponent's side of the field and negate. Keep in mind, they only have 1 card in our hand. Appaloosa for 3 negates, and they can't attack into it because of Hope Harbinger. Hope Harbinger can negate a spell. And of course, we never used our McCraker, so we could still use McCraker to combo on. I hope this actually convinced you that even with bad hands, Darkworld is completely ridiculous from time to time, and it can make some really, really good boards. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more amazing content, you already know, click on one of these videos, and I'll catch you on the next one.